Hello, peace family. I am sorry I am delayed tonight, but just had an amazing couple of things develop today. Want to give a big shout out to Adrian, who is just a boss when it comes to financial advising. Have signed on to do taxes with her this year. You may know Adrian from uh, of the family Ton of Fun from TLC Network. Yes, we're going to have her as a guest on the show. So, if any of my fellow tax preparers are tuning in tonight, absolutely welcome. This is going to be an amazing panel tonight. So I just want to give a couple of minutes for everyone to get in here. Sorry again, I know I'm late, but thank you all for your patience. So we're about to get going, or as I like to call it, get glowing. But this is a MX Media presents a MX Media panel discussion. And we are definitely friends to dropping the link. Absolutely. Hello, sis Ruby. So sorry I'm a little late, but for a very good reason, y'all. When I tell y'all what happens, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more once we get going. We're just so excited to have this conversation tonight. So excited to be amongst family. So excited to be able to have such a discussion with some mature audiences. So just so I let everyone know, Ruby was actually the inspiration for this title. Ruby is an essential worker, a healthcare worker. And we had a great conversation. And she said, you know what, it really comes down to that scripture from the word about people needing to really want the help in order to get the most from it. People need to want the help. Hey, Truth in Action, how are you, Jess Hart? I love you, sis. How are you? No, girl, you were not late. You were right on time. It was me that was late. So I'm going to bring panel member, MX Media Group member, Brother William. He is a representative of the Black Youth Congress as a member of the panel. So we're going to get going. We're waiting for a couple of other people also to come on board, but we are very much looking forward to having this conversation. Brother William, how are you feeling tonight? You said it would be 8, and I said, no, brother, that's too late, but look at there.
That's all right. Hey, we're gonna glow up anyway. You know what I'm saying? Let's glow up.
Let's blow it up regardless, right? Because we still on good time. And hey, Brown Bird, welcome, y'all. We have a really good room here going tonight. Again, apologies for my lateness. It is not Brother William's fault, so nobody blame him. Absolutely. Hey,
Well,
Neo, how are you? Neo, you do
let me
have the
say
link.
something.
Neo, if you want to come on board, you do have the link. What were you
Let me say
saying,
something.
Brother William?
Yeah, I want to say that you ain't gotta say you're late because you had a situation and everything cool. We're not on a plantation, you know what I'm saying? So
Thank
you late.
you.
Oh, you late. You
Ooh.
late. No, you good. Let's start glowing. Let's start glowing. What time we
Come
gonna
on,
glow?
you're
We're gonna
right.
glow at
You're
8:30.
right. And you all, I
You know what I'm
William,
saying?
I cannot I'm so excited to share with you all. One of the reasons why I was running a little late, we just got an awesome opportunity to really get on board with presenting our media the way we want to present our media. Um Hey, brother Guy, okay, so Neo, Guy, you guys have the link. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to make sure you guys had the link. Okay. So, but brother William, I'm going to share this with everyone. Once we're at a good run, I'm going to share everything with someone. But you all know I've been working on a media project for a minute. So today, I literally just got a confirmation for a printing company that is, you know, just doing some real truth to power media. And we got confirmation, and I got a little piece of their work. I actually exchanged my book with them. So, I didn't have to pay for this particular prototype for what they shared. But you all, I can't wait to share it with you all. It's phenomenal. And I want to give a big shout out because today was just nonstop of blessings. It started definitely this morning with me committing to being a tax preparer with Sis Adrian, who is amazing, and she's a real boss when it comes to financial advising and tax preparation. And of course, it is a Black-owned business as well. And just met a great group of people. And then, of course, with this last piece of information, with being able to actually have a printing company on board with creating some of this glow merchandise we've been talking about. So the glow merch is coming, y'all. Some other representative media works are coming. Y'all were in here. So let's get into it. I'm so ready. I gotta be honest, Brother William, and thank you again for that word with just, keeping that head and just saying, hey, we ain't on no plantation. When we get in here and we talk and we're amongst our network and we're glowing up, hey, it's all love. And it really is.
That's
Um,
right.
so, Brother William, tell me, what do you think about that topic? What do you think about this topic of, do we as a people really want solutions? Do we really want solutions? I'm gonna put myself on mute. I want to hear what you have to say about it. I really do. This is gonna be, it's all love here tonight, y'all. We're gonna get real, we're gonna get honest, because without that accountability, without that real, we cannot really expect to progress. So
That's
I'm going to
right.
put
That's
myself
right.
on mute. I definitely want you to weigh in and tell me what you think about this topic.
Right. To me, I think it's a progressive or productive topic because it leads to an answer that can actually cause us to go into some action. That's how I feel. So, number one is I think many of us really, really want to, okay, but incapable. Our inability to communicate, because really communication, our ability to dialogue, our ability to exchange ideas, and then build together, conversate and all that. This panel is good for a start, but I'm saying as we develop in our ability to communicate, then it'll give us a pathway to physically unite. So you can't physically unite until you have a communication base. So I think we're a lot of us are willing, a whole big number of us, but a lot of us are incapable and don't realize it. I think unconsciously we think because we caught up in sensation, we caught up in like you say, the problem, defining the problem. We get a sensation out of that. Well, the black man don't stick together. Okay, so at the end of that definition of the problem, what's the solution? All right, so let's start talking about that. So let it be a two-step and not a
Wait,
one-step.
Brother William, can you do that impression again? Because I think you were spot on with that. Well, the black man don't stick together. Come on. I
Oh, that
think we
was
need to.
that was. Oh, you laughing at
We need,
me?
we
You
need to
laughing at me?
know. That's so true because that's how
Oh,
we sound. That's how we sound.
oh,
That's how
okay,
we
okay,
sound.
all right. Well,
Absolutely. I know you're right on
well, I
target.
hear.
You're right on
Okay,
target when you say that.
I hear it all the time.
Yes, you're
So,
right on
but
target. You sound,
well,
I had to look behind me because I promise you, I felt I heard somebody saying, hey, yeah, we don't stick
well,
together. That's how we
well, we
sound.
don't. So what's after that? So you know what I'm saying? We don't personalize it. So if me and you or me and somebody else is saying, well, black men don't stick together, okay, well, let's me and you get started. Let's start something. Let's me and you. So we're blinded by numbers. I'm always saying that because it's true. We blinded by numbers. We're saying, well, the thousands of us don't do nothing, so ain't nothing gonna happen. Well, what about you? What about me and you? Let's me and you get something started. Black Panthers got started with 2 or 3 people. Other powerful organizations got started with 2 or 3 and turned into 2,000 and 2 million. So I'm saying we blinded by numbers. So getting started starts right here on this panel. So I think it's a good subject you got started. It's a really good one because we do a whole lot of talking about the problem, and we on point. But what about the solution? We don't have a point. I rest my mic.
What about the solution? Brother Neo, welcome to the panel. I know it's been a minute, so welcome back, or welcome black, as I like to say. Absolutely. What about these solutions? How do we start moving towards actually execution of the solutions, Brother Neo? Thank you again for joining us tonight.
As always, thanks for sending me the invite. I appreciate it. And it's good to hear from you again. Uh, let's go into it. From my perspective right now, this is, do we have the wherewithal to acknowledge the healing that we need? Do we need it? I mean, yes, of course. But more importantly, do we know that we're already making those steps towards that healing? So rather than thinking of it as, do we want the healing? We're already making those steps. I mean, this internet right now, this YouTube, these social medias, I've been uh, privileged to be involved in so many different outlets right now that are being progressive and connecting and making a valid effort in trying to connect. We're still talking about it, like we're not actually doing it. But when you step back and really look at it, I've already been through at least 3 or 4 different Black promoted or owned businesses just today. I mean, from Dr. Boyce Watkins to Dr. Claude Anderson's channel. There's a fitness, I guess you would call her a fitness queen that always puts out her products, businesses, her training. Several different Black-owned gun shops, armament shops, all over the place. And these are just some of the small ones. And from what I've noticed is that we're already on this path, on this journey of healing, like we always do. I mean, like from the past, we've always figured out how to overcome. And this generation, I'm proud to say, is actually making those steps and doing those things that are necessary. I believe that it's our responsibility now to step back and really look at how many different outlets are collectively gathering up right now. It's just amazing. Just my opinion.
Thank you so much. We want to welcome to the panel also Sis Hope. So Sis Hope, in your opinion, how does this topic resonate with you? And y'all, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go back to my logo because I just keep getting this blinding light. So I wanted when we come on the panel, I do like to live up. I like to cam up on the lives, but I keep getting this blinding light and I can't really get my right spot in. So I'm gonna go back to the logo. But thank you all again for joining the panel. And so Sis Hope is on you, please. I want to hear, how does this topic resonate with you?
Well, this topic, hello everyone. This topic resonates with me because like I currently, well, of course not physically right now, but currently work in the West Philadelphia area in a school. I've worked in schools in Kensington, the Kensington area of Philadelphia, which is a really rough area. And in listening to those of you speak who've spoken already, and thinking of my experiences with doing community work in West Philly, in North Philly, and doing some in Kensington, like more than just it being Black people who are, needing to be healed from the different things that have been holding them back. I feel like and of course, like we're mostly talking about Black people right now, but a lot of it I feel like um, is really difficult, even when you want to come up with things, even when you want to come up with solutions to get past survival. Like you are in survival mode many times in doing community work in West Philly. It's like so frustrating because I'm like, well, people aren't coming to community meetings. And when we have here, there's something called an RCO meeting where you get to meet with developers who want to come in your neighborhood and build different things. And West Philly right now is like a hot commodity with developers. Um, and you want people to come, and people won't come to the meetings, or there's a few people who will come to the meetings. And then I was talking with the president of our advisory council, of which I'm the secretary, and I was fuming because because basically it's like when people want to say that, oh, you're invited to the table, or residents are invited to the table to talk about this one thing, it's like we're invited to the table, but then you make the table inconvenient. Why would you make a meeting in the afternoon, in the middle of the early afternoon when parents have to be on with their children on virtual learning? Do you think that there are people who are not working? And so I feel like it most people are like, you know what? So do I want to get into this thing that may help my community, or am I going to do these things to help my own family survive? And I don't think it's a case of them not wanting better, or not wanting to do better, or not wanting to come together. A lot of it is just I, I need for my family to survive in my house. I need to worry about my house. And then there's times when people who look like us are in power, and they get a little bit of power and they will screw you over. So then you're like, it does, like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. So it really doesn't matter what I do. And then there comes a hopelessness in getting things to change. Maybe I can get these things to change for the children in my house. I can get the kids in my house to go to college. I can make sure my house is taken care of. I can make sure the outside of my house is clean. But in trying to get involved in all the other stuff, like sometimes it's a lot of things that come with that other stuff. And do I want people to get involved? Lord knows I do. But sometimes it's not a case of people not wanting to be well or wanting to be healed. Sometimes it's a case of just being in survival mode. Like, I've heard people before talk about the difference between living and existing. And I think in many of our neighborhoods, people do not know the difference. Like, if I'm alive, I'm alive, but they don't know that there's more that they can do. And then sometimes when you've tried to do the more, and then you get beaten back when you're trying to do the more, that can be like, you know what? I'm just going to worry about my house. So that's how I see it.
You've actually said something that is very, very true. Um, something that I'm hearing actually shared amongst other families as well. Hope within regards to people are kind of they're not so community minded. It's kind of like, hey, I'm just going to make sure. And when I say they're not community minded, they're not. I'm not even. I'm going to be very transparent. I'm not. I'm not talking about people saying, okay, I'm not going to. I'm only going to worry about my sisters, my brother, my brothers. My immediate family. They're not even talking about their immediate family. They're talking about I'm worrying about my kids and myself.
Yeah.
I'm worrying about my spouse and myself,
Yeah.
and that's it. And so we've like skipped that whole even middle ground because it used to be like, okay, community and then your network and then your immediate family, which definitely included your siblings or your immediate aunts and uncles. But now I've heard the most I've ever heard in my life that people are just like, I'm just worrying about my kids. And like I said, just with
Mm-hmm.
100% honest, I am, feeling also that same way, you know, um, as everyone knows, here on the panel and, most in the room that, I was an elected official and here I was going to these meetings, going to city council, going to make sure that there was representation for a community that just wasn't interested in showing up. But that same community was showing up for turkey drives. That same
Mm-hmm.
community was showing up at football games. Let's talk about it. Let's be real. But they couldn't come down to City Hall. They couldn't come to student parent conferences. They couldn't come to those, and they would send me a message after the fact, but it would never it would be really a disrespectful uh disregard prior to anything that kind of I was organizing, and it does take its toll.
Yeah.
Welcome to the panel, both brother Bakari and Guy. That link is on route, so you should have that. You want to refresh your page. Brother Bakari, welcome. What do you have to say about this topic? I'm going back on mute, guys.
The healing of the community. You know what? I heard when you were speaking, because I know I said this to you and I mean this. I love black people, but I have to worry about my kids, me and my kids. Black people, the healing of the community gonna start with respect. And if you don't have enough respect to the problem is we don't have enough respect to listen to something that another black person have to say. We can say we want to be healed, but we want something from the outside to come and hear you. You want white people, in all honesty, to come and hear you. And I'm just gonna go. We just went through this presidential election, right? I had people stop talking to me because I said things about Joe Biden. I had brother, my mom and daddy's son, unfriend one of them, unfriend me on Facebook because of some of the things that I was saying because we don't have respect. Excuse me. The first is going to have to come with respect. And black people have put us in this position. And when I'm saying us, I'm talking about black people that's really out here working, really out here trying, who want to build black people, who want to heal black people, and who want to do things in the black community. And when you are out here doing your best, when you're out here doing your best, you're constantly supporting businesses. You're constantly promoting black businesses. You're constantly supporting and promoting black love. And the same people that you're loving and you want to understand, those are the same people that turn on you. So what do? You have to get to a point where now your survival instincts kick in. And the first law of nature is self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you was talking about meetings in West Philly, where you say you are in West Philly. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
much about Philadelphia. I don't know if that's a black area or not.
Oh yeah.
And you were saying they want us at the table, but they set the table at a time they know we can't come eat. That's done by design because they
Mm-hmm.
want other people to come from the outside and be the developers. They want other people to come And these are these black politicians that you were talking about because they are getting their pockets greased. They're getting their pocket lined by other people. So they want these other people to come and develop it. They want the other people to have businesses in our community. They want us to remain under control under whatever party they represent, be it Democratic or Republican. Being black is probably Democrat. They want us to remain under other people's control. They want other people, East Indians, Arabs, uh, excuse me, Asians. They want all those people to come inside of our community and control businesses because those people are paying them and they don't care about us. So part of the healing process is I hear black people, we like to say we have to boycott. But part of the healing process is once we talk to one another, and it's like minded people on this panel and like minded people in the chat, we have to discuss and say we need a change of mind and not boycott. Just don't go to those places until we can get ownership of those places. And when we get ownership of those places, then we began to employ our own and we began to take care of our community. We began to clean our streets. We began to throw away our trash. We have to start looking in the mirror. Then look at the mirror at ourselves. Then look inside of us so we can see that the only option we have to heal us, the only option we have to make where we live better is us. Nobody else is going to do it. And for the ones that don't want to be aboard, that excuse me, that don't want to be a part, we are visual people. Forget them. Everybody was not with Martin Luther King when he first started marching. Everybody was not with Malcolm X. Everybody was not with Marcus Garvey when he first started the UNIA, but he ended up with 2 million people. So we have to get the like-minded people who want to do it, and we have to have a schedule where we can get out there and we can do it together. And if only one of us can make it to that meeting where they have set the table in West Philly, we make sure one or maybe two that can make it, make sure we are there. We are recording these meetings and we are bringing it back to the like-minded people. And we have to start taking care of each other. We have to start taking care. We have to start respecting, loving, providing, and protecting each other. And that's the healing that we need. And no one will ever give us that healing beside ourselves. And I yield the mic.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Um, it was funny. Like I grew up in North Philly, and all my life I felt like the rest of the city didn't care about North Philly. I'm like, nobody cares about us. Our, like it's dirty around here and stuff like that. Like I would like my mother would get us out and make us clean the front when they had like street cleaning and stuff like that. And but I just felt like there was a disregard for our area because we lived there. And then I moved to Northeast Philly and I had like a really weird experience. And it wasn't weird, it was just weird because I had an epiphany in the moment. Um, like I went to the supermarket and it was a supermarket past my house, and there's a college that's past my house. Um, and there is a gas station at the corner of where you would turn into the parking lot. And I was waiting for the bus, and I happened to look down, and there was like a little plot of flowers in front of the sign for the gas station. And there was a sign that was stuck in there, and it said, please, um, it says something to the effect of, please keep this space nice. We're trying to keep our community beautiful. And at that moment, I said, oh, wait a minute. It's not that they don't care about our neighborhood. It's that we didn't care about our neighborhood. I'm like, because up here, like I noticed that like up where I live now, I would say there are about maybe 5 to 6 supermarkets where I live. There are a lot of different stores like farmers markets where I live. But part of the reason why there are not a lot in the neighborhood I used to live in is because when there's a store there, they get robbed. And so the stores close. And I'm like, how is it that there's so many markets up here and not down where I live? And that's part of the problem. Like when you were saying, you have to look in the mirror and that we need to realize that we can provide the healing that we need. It's almost as if sometimes black people are gonna like prove to white people or other people, you're going to do right by us. Like, no, we're not going to do anything because we're going to make you have to do it for us. And I'm like, hold your breath and wait for that. Hold your breath and wait for it. Because it's not going to happen. You have to be willing to do something to contribute to what you want to see in your community. It takes nothing to throw something in the trash and not throw it out of your car window. It takes nothing to sweep up your own front yard. It takes nothing to do stuff like that. And I mean, if you just start there, start only at that place, that can make a world of difference in your neighborhood. Then people will be like, oh, wait a minute. Well, no, we want things to be this way or we want things to be that way. But when you don't do those things, you can't get upset for people not wanting to live there or not wanting you to live there after a while. Like at my school, there's a book company that gives our school free books every few months for kids to be able to order books and take books home. But they remind us, make sure you order the books because if they think we don't need it, it will be taken away. If people think that, oh, we don't care about our neighborhoods, we don't care about keeping it clean, it's no surprise. It's no surprise that they're like, well, we just gonna wait till, it's prime time to go on and take it, because they're not gonna fight for it. If they were gonna fight for it, they would do what they need to do to keep it the way that they want it to be. And I'm not saying that all of the things that aren't happening in the black community are black people's fault and like there aren't things to fight. But when it seems like you don't value it, no one will value it for you either.
Courtney?
Courtney stepped away. I don't know if Neo is on here or not, but she asked Neo in the chat to run the moderator for her till she come back because I think she said something happened to her laptop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
I like, go ahead.
All right. I was just kind of scrolling through some of my subscribers, some of the people I subscribe to, just to give a reference as to who I was referring to earlier as part of the community, just on the internet, mind you, not in the physical, but just on the internet, of people who are making those inroads to gather groups of people who are already in the process of trying to provide an environment to heal. But it just dawned on me that we do need to talk more about the physical space that we live in as far as healing. It's a deep. That's a profound question. Like I can't even wrap my head around it right now because I've already been submerging myself into environments that are already past trying to figure out what type of healing we need or if people are actually willing to heal. Uh, because I've been surrounding myself with just business oriented people who are already growing black social groups, communities, things of that nature. Uh, Hell, just my Sunday school teacher, for example, Two Scoops Barry is what he goes by. It's kind of funny. You can pull him up on Instagram. He holds a Bible study class every Wednesday and Sunday, but he's also a fitness trainer, getting people in shape and everything. And he posts his videos so you can follow along. And his community is growing, and I'm really proud of him. Proud to call him my Sunday school teacher from when I was a child. Still in here doing things for the betterment of the community. But that's the environment. Not when I think about it, that's the environment that I grew up in as a child. Is a black oriented community that was always trying to better the area that we live in, the space that we live in, so that we don't fit into that stereotype. But we have a lot of different social social pages, social internet, just a lot of different things bombarding us with the stereotypes that have grown from the past and whatnot, and we are shedding them right now. But it's hard because every time we look at our mainstream media, they keep coming up with different um, rhetoric or social attachment, like signs and labels and whatnot, to try to identify us. We've already identified who we are. We know who we are. But because it's not categorized by our mainstream media, we're still tagged and labeled. This is where I believe that we need to start thinking about the type of healing that really needs to be taking place. The social identity. Who are we identifying as, and how can we break away from letting these people continue to label us? I mean, especially when we're dealing with our politicians. They have no idea what to identify us as, so they come up with new terms to label us as so that they can continue to put us on the back burner, so we can continue to be in the back of the bus, if you will. Pushed aside, benign neglect, all of these different things. But they're slowly losing control of that because, again, the healing process has already been taking place for at least the last 20 years when this internet allowed us to have a free space that allowed us to actually start mending the broken parts about ourselves. We have access to research, databases, and all these different things that help with that. It sounds like it's kind of going all over the place, but that's exactly what we are. We're all black people. We have got to realize that we are literally connected to this whole entire world. We are found everywhere, and that's what we are. Healing process, knowledge. We've taken a knife. So we're starting to add those things to grow our communities. We just have to continue to do those simple little things. Individuals, worried about your own living space, but set an example. Right? I'll yield the mic.
Okay, whose turn is it? Is it on me?
Yes, sir. I think it's on you now.
Okay. 2 seconds right quick. Okay, I'm back. Well, I was reading the chat as you were speaking. You were saying some wonderful things, but Snuggle668 asked a question. And Snuggle668 asked a question. Uh
Yeah, I
what
love
is
those
the
challenging questions.
yes,
I
what is the
can't read them
thing
right now.
that people have to control at this point? Well, one of the things I say that we can control, and it's according to what city, state and city that you live in, but we can control our trash in our community. And what I mean by that, we
Mhm.
can have the trash company. We can own the company that pick up the trash and stop depending on other people to take care of throwing away our neighbors' trash, throwing away the trash from the restaurants in our community. I owned a uh, residential trash company. So that's one of the things that we can control at this moment. It's going to be hard to control other stuff outside of our community, especially right now. But even the landscaping, stop hiring outside. We should control that. In that way, our community is clean because we're taking up the trash and we're hiring our own people to keep it clean. And we are making sure that the landscaping is done the way it should be done because we are doing it. Now that's me. I like doing that type of I like to challenge myself. And I know I have a friend from Philly and he said, well, the mob run the trash in Philly. I think they run it everywhere, in all honesty, because waste industry own everything, even all of the like privatized prisons. Here in Georgia, I know for a fact that we have privatized landfills that waste industry owns. And as my company was growing, they just continued to raise the price, and it was just me that was doing it. But I want to get back into it because I have me a couple of partners now that want to join because they see the benefits. But that's what we have to do. We have to look at things like that we can do for ourselves, and we can begin to control our community. The hard part is we're gonna have to talk our people into it, in which we shouldn't have to talk some of our people into being our clientele to let them know what good job that we are going to do for them. And once they pay us their money, we have to make sure we do the job right because we know we have to go above and beyond to make our people happy. So we're gonna go above and beyond. And for me, I never had problems running the trash business and what they would call. I don't use the word hood because I like to leave the neighbor in there because your neighbor is loving and friendly, and you're supposed to look out for one another and all of that. So in the black neighborhood, but what some people would call the hood, I never had problems getting customers in the hood. My problem was getting customers out in a suburban area where black people live, but the black people in the hood, there was no problem. So that's what we need to be doing. Those are just two examples of things that we can control right now if we stick together in our community. And if everything worked right as of January next year, when January come next year, we're gonna have a we love your trash bags on the market. Me and a friend of mine, so we can get our own trash bag, putting our trash in our trash bag, and we taking the trash away. So those are just two of the things. And I'll yield the mic, and if anybody want to, touch on that question or whatever you want to speak about, but I yield the mic.
Yeah, I'd like to give that a label, kind of going against what I was talking about earlier. I'd like to give that more of an acknowledgement. Um, let's call it micro politics, right? It's not full on, politics. Doesn't involve any of the political parties. It doesn't involve any of the council members of the city and things of that nature. It's just your block, right? Or your block and the neighboring block, the block after that. Micro politics, right? It's something that you can control in your neighborhood. Just like the brother was just saying, controlling who takes out your trash is something simple but powerful, because you have to pay a trash bill to get your trash out, and now that money is going towards the community rather than going to the city. Then you just took power into your own hands. These are micro politics. Like, what else can you do? What other kind of things can you do in your neighborhood that you can control? Somebody has to step up and volunteer to do it. But another thing would be transportation, logistics. Most of the time, in within a certain radius of blocks, you're going to have several black people that more than likely work in the same building, vicinity, or something of that nature. Now, if you controlled how they got to work and what their schedules were, much like how the city bus does, or how the Uber and taxi service works, if you, I don't know, get together with a small group and let other people know that, hey, this is what we're doing. We're carpooling to work, only you do it in like a van or something, or maybe a slightly bigger. The collective gas money going into that on a weekly basis will cover it. That, and it pretty much takes away your personal vehicle's mileage. You don't have to worry about putting the strain on your own personal vehicle. Your oil changes and things of that nature, those small things come down in cost, which saves you money, which leads to my bigger issue is, or with the micro politics, is trying to figure out how to control more of your own personal leisure time. You don't have enough time to go to these meetings because you're always working, or we're always working.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have the time to be able to spare. We don't have that. Now, if we had the time to spare, which is our leisure time, then we'd be able to attend it. Why don't we have more leisure time? Because we just barely make enough money to get by. Now, these micro politics that we're talking about here will put more dollars into your pocket so that you can afford your leisure time, so that you can attend meetings. And you don't even have to attend meetings. You can attend stuff like what we're doing right here. This is a meeting. If somebody can write up a receipt for all of us being here, that's a tax write-off, if I'm not mistaken, if somebody is a business owner. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. That these small little penny things, and I do mean penny, not petty, penny things, these small things that only add up to pennies on the dollar, will eventually add up to your larger amounts to be able to afford 30 minutes here, an hour here, 2 hours here, 5 hours throughout the week that you have dedicated to where you're not doing anything because it's already covered and taken care of. Right? A small group doing these simple things has the capability of getting the attention of more eyeballs, more bodies, more people wanting to participate in something like this, because that's what we all are craving. That's what we're thirsting for, is being able to afford our leisure time to be able to do certain things, picnics, outings. You know us, we love to gather in the parks, but we can't gather in the parks because we always have somebody telling us that we can't do it, and we can't afford to put up money to have somebody fight our battles for us. Well, again, these little micro politics in our community to control our micro dollars, to control our small, minute amount of time, will add up to the larger amount of time, larger amounts of money to be able to throw out at our pitfalls that are obviously obstacles put in our way on a small scale. until we get the attention of those that are in power. If we want their attention, chances are we don't even want their attention. We really don't need them being involved in our little micro politics. Keep them the fuck out of it, if you don't mind me. If you don't mind my French, keep them out of it. We don't need their large scale politics, their city politics and beyond to deal with what's going on in the proverbial hood. It's our hood. We need to control it. So you hold on real tight. Once you establish those micro politics, you hold on to them for dear life and don't let them go. And once they see that, they know we got power over ourselves. You're no longer a minority. All right? I yield the mic.
Um, I was reading the chat and Snuggles668. She said she liked everything that the panel was saying, and that she's learning. But if it's easy for people to trust each other, but is it easy, basically, for people to trust each other to do what all of these suggestions are? And
If you don't mind me
I feel like
asking,
I'm
let,
sorry.
let, let me go ahead and answer that one real quick, if you don't mind. In my personal opinion, no, absolutely not. It's not easy for us to trust each other. Let's not even pretend that we as black people are trusting of ourselves. Let's not even sugarcoat that. We don't trust each other, but we can. Trust has to be earned with time. It has to start somewhere. So let's not pretend that this is something that's going to be easy. In no way, shape, or form is this going to be easy. But we don't like doing those easy things now, do we? As black people, we always are challenged, and we shine when we are challenged. So bring the challenge. Let's figure out how to trust it. Let's earn each other's trust instead of pretending that, oh, we're going to give a shit about each other. No, 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 no. We've been through too much to just start throwing out that trust to anywhere. And I don't want anybody to just go into that. It has to be earned. And once it's earned, it's valuable. It's way more valuable when it's earned, right? And it's way easier to back it up when it's honored. People are going to respect it more because, okay, now we're working on a better honor system here. You broke my trust. We don't do business with you anymore. Okay, well, how do I earn that back? It's going to take time.
But something that I found is that because I'm glad that you said that no, we don't trust each other. And sometimes it's really hard when you've tried to trust your people, like in business, especially when you try to trust them, when you try to spend your dollar, when you've given them another chance, and then it's the trust and the respect. Like you have to respect the fact that this is my business. No, I can't give you a hookup because we both black. I can't do that because I've had that happen to me. I've had that happen to me um, because like I'm a crafter and I'm a face painter, and um, I feel like my prices are less than some of my competitors, but it's like I know who I'm dealing with most of the time. And so, I try to price according to, make it, worthwhile for me, as well as, not just try to price people out of the wazoo. But the moment I say anything over $50 to do a party, oh, well, we're going to do the face painting ourselves. Okay. And it's like I
Well,
used to feel bad. It's like I used to feel bad about you. I feel bad and like, well, maybe I should try to, figure out another price, or because really it was wanted for me to do it for free. And I'm like, no, no, no. I buy all of my own supplies. I make sure to buy high quality supplies that are things that won't break your kid's face out and stuff like that. So, I can't just do it for free because there's that hookup mentality. Like I feel as though a lot of time, like really, in some ways, there needs to be like a shift in thinking in the Black community to realize if a Black person has a business, that doesn't mean that you can get some type of hookup because we all Black. No. And on the other hand, on the side of the business owner, you can't just give any type of customer service, any type of product just because you're Black. You can't have a higher quality of service or product for other races and give just any old thing to your people. Because I've seen that too. And so I think that's where that trust factor comes in. Like there's this guy, and he runs a program to teach people in the community, especially young people, about the hospitality industry. And he came and he talked to us, and he's like, I want to get these different contracts with hotels and different, catering companies and things like that, and restaurants to help my students get in. And he said, the number one thing, I went to them and I said, and I asked them, what is it that you feel is the number one thing that my students need to learn? And the number one thing they said was customer service, how to give excellent customer service. And I couldn't say anything because I was like, where's the lie? I couldn't say anything. I couldn't disagree with them. I couldn't say, no, that's not true. And I'm not saying that it's a problem across Black people, but it, like you said, I can't lie and say, trust isn't an issue. I can't lie and say that that's not an issue because I've experienced it and I'm Black, you know? And so I feel like there needs to be a shift in how Black people think about how they work with one another. That no, you don't just give exemplary service or product to someone else to prove something to someone else who is not you. You give it to everyone, especially your people. And then the other mind shift, I think, needs to be that a lot of Black people need to get outside of their own culture. Because when I look at um, Indian culture, when I look at Asian culture, even looking at African culture, a lot of the like, sometimes I'm like, why don't they get so much flack? Like, why are they not worried about certain things? Because the same stuff that we're saying that we need to do, they are doing it. I remember being in college and being in the library and watching, like just watching and seeing how there would be a whole library table of Asian students all studying together, and then a whole library table of all Indian students studying together. And there might be a whole table of African students studying together. And there would be African American students studying together, but not in that large quantity. Like, listen, we all about to learn this. We all about to pass this class. We're all about to be proficient, all of us. And so I think there needs to be a mind shift in that. Realize, like, if I rise, you rise, we rise together. Because a lot of times it's like, no, you can't rise higher than me, because if you rise higher than me, then I got to best you. But no, if you do your best in this area, I do my best in this area, and then we can come together and maybe do something together with your best and my best. We don't have to fight for the same position. And I think a lot of that gets in the way as well. So then when there's time for solutions, it's difficult to get the solutions off the ground because someone wants to say, oh, I was the one who came up with. No, we all came up with this together. We're all doing this together. We don't need to fight each other. We're doing this together. So I think that those are some of the shifts, like in our thinking, that needs to happen. And a lot of times in these like community meetings, and like you were talking about, like the micro politics and stuff like that, it's really difficult to get people on board with stuff sometimes because they're like, what if we do all this stuff and then you just take all the credit for it? That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get us all to work together so that we can change some things in our community. So we're not so beholden or um, beholden to like the politicians and the elites, and that we're not completely reliant on the politicians and the elites, but so that we can do something together, that it will be a we mentality instead of a you mentality, instead of a me mentality. It becomes like a we, and we're working together toward a common goal. And I think sometimes in our communities, it's like you can get battle weary from trying to fight the people on the outside and your people on the inside, especially like community workers. I see it all the time. Sometimes it's like they got to step away a little bit. And it's like they won't stop doing community work, but from certain things, they got to step away because it's like you get battle weary. Like we're trying to bring us together. And I need you to come up a little higher, raise your awareness and your thinking a little bit. Sometimes trust us a little bit. If you feel as though you can't be at the meeting, come to this one thing. We all talk together. We all talk about what the issues are in this neighborhood, working block by block. And sometimes as community workers, we can't just be inside of a community center or a meeting. Sometimes we got to take our meetings outside. Sometimes we got to be like, listen, this month's meeting is going to be on the 4500 block of this street. If you want to be there, be there. We'll bring a chair outside. We're going to be in the middle of the street. We're going to have a meeting because we want to find out what's going on with you. And I think sometimes like people like us who are trying to do things, it's like we want the people to come to us sometimes, and sometimes we got to go to the people, because even us, we talk different than them. We may not sound like them. We may sound more like the elites. And then they're like, oh, they said Diddy. Oh, they just by the way you speak differently, you think you better. But when you can come to where I am, like I saw a video, it was so funny, and it's about an animal, but it kind of makes me think of what I'm talking about right now. In a kennel, it was a dog, beautiful dog, but it had been abused. And it was abused so much that it was afraid to eat the food that they were giving the dog at the shelter. So the veterinarian went inside the cage, sat down with his lunch that he put in a bowl that looked in a metal bowl that looked just like the bowl that he was giving to the dog. And he sat down with his lunch and his bottle, and he started eating first out of his bowl. And then he reached into the bowl, got some of the food out, put it in his hand, and gave it to the dog. And then he reached in again and gave the dog some more food. And then he started eating from his own bowl. And the dog literally looked up at him, saw him eating out of a bowl that looked just like his, and then went over to the bowl and started eating out of the bowl. Sometimes, even when we have these thoughts of what the solutions need to be and how people need to come to these realizations and the changes in mindset, sometimes We need to go to where they are. Go to like that grimy block that you like, yo, I would never live on this block. Do people really live on this block? All these houses look condemned, which I've seen blocks like this. So sometimes you got to go to where they are. And I tell a lot of community workers who look like me, sometimes we got to go to where they are. And they're not always willing to do that. So it's like it needs to be like an all around mind shift from the come to what we're doing. This should be free because we skin folk, or I should be able to give you whatever I want to because we're skin folk. Like it has to be a whole mind shift from the me and the I to the we. And on all fronts, I feel like we all need to kind of try to converge into the we, from those that we're trying to get to that place of solutions to us trying to get to the people who we want to co-sign on being a part of the solution, and realize that all of us don't sound the same, all of us don't talk the same, and sometimes when you talk a little more you might have to get, you know, cool with a little bit of slang if that's not your thing. You might have to, you know, dress kind of casual if even if it's not your thing. You might have to, you know, you want somebody to come to the meeting and they got a baby. You might, like how the professors are now in some of these colleges, you might have to get cool with holding somebody's baby, even though you know that until this whole COVID thing is over. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Brother McCarty,
Yeah. You know what?
well, we go in a circle.
Oh yeah.
You make sure everybody go in a circle.
Yeah. He got it.
Said that's just a well said, well said. I felt everything she was saying. But go ahead, please conduct it so everybody go in a circle.
Uh. Sometimes it's not just that the white ice is colder or the white anybody else's hands are cleaner. Sometimes it's jealousy and hate. They don't want to see. We have a problem with seeing one of us get rich at times, and not even getting rich, living good and taking care of your family. So we don't
Mhm.
want to support. We'll rather support other people because we don't want to see us do it, right? So with me being I also own a pressure washing business, and with my pressure washing business, a lot of my businesses, even with my trust, a lot of my business was I dealt with a lot of tobacco spitting rednecks, and I knew how they felt about me. I didn't care; they knew how I felt about them. I'm in business, but the thing about us asking for discounts, I learned about dealing with them and by dealing with some Asian people. That everybody asks their own people for discounts. And for a very long time, I thought that was a black thing. But everybody do it. I had Chinese people tell me and rednecks tell me, I paid you more money than I ever paid anybody else. I would have never paid a white person this much money. I would have never paid a Chinese person this much money because everybody expects a discount from their own people. Now, I don't give a discount. I raise my prices. So when they ask for a discount, then I go down so I can get to what I want. It's a way you have to learn to do the business with your people who you know going to ask for a discount. Let's say you're doing a business and your business is 150 and you want 150. And that's what you're going to sell. You won't take less than that. So you tell them 200. That's too much. 185. That's too much. Okay, how about 150? Bam. Okay, you got 150. They want a discount. You got to make them feel they got a discount. You have to make your customer feel good. But now the white ice thing is real. The white ice now it's not always about that, but sometimes our people do feel that. And trust is a big issue. And when I was speaking earlier and I said we have to work harder, I wasn't even talking about dealing with other people. We have to work harder most of the time dealing with our own. We have to work harder than anybody else. I'm okay with that. I'm on my job and my work. I have a standard, so it doesn't make a difference who I'm doing the work for. The work is going to be the same for everybody, so mine is going to look good regardless. you know So that's just in the micro politics. When we control the micro politics, you keep the real politicians. You keep the real politicians out of the business. You keep city council out of your business. I turned down an opportunity to be on the city council here. They really wanted me to run, and they was talking what they're gonna do for me if I run. But you keep them out of your business. You keep the mayor out your business. We have to be the politicians that control our neighborhoods. And like the sister said, I don't see anyone name, and I don't know her name, but you know, but when they were speaking, us, what we gonna do, we have to do it. That's how I see it. No politicians, not even no black politicians, none of them have to be in our business. We have to keep our plans to ourselves. And when she was speaking, and she was like, when she was in school, you see all the Asian people studying together, the East Indians studying together, the Arabs studying together. Then you see the Africans studying together, then the African Americans. For me, that's a problem. I think the Africans should have been studying together. And when I say Africans, that includes the Africans studying with the African Americans. Because all those Asians you see, they are not all from Asia. You know, I know Chinese people ain't never even been to China, but they gonna be Chinese, and that's who they gonna deal with. I know Italians 5 generations here talk about Italy, say he never been to Italy, but that's what he gonna deal with. See, the reason that no one has been through what we have been through. No one has been through what we've been through. We have been taught to hate one another. We have been taught not to trust one another. What we went through in this country. And I know when people say, well, the African people didn't go through it on their country. But see, when they come here, they were able to keep their language because they stayed at home. They were able to keep just about all of their culture because they stayed at home. Even though we kept a little bit of the culture here, the drum beating, that's our African culture. Some of the foods we eat, the rice, the watermelon, the yam, wheat, when we eat the wheat bread, that come from Africa. That's our culture. That's why we enjoy those foods. That's some of our culture. But we shouldn't look at one another and start seeing a difference. Well, I'm African American and you African. Because see, they were enslaved on their own land called colonial. So they come here with that division because they have been taught to be divided as well. So it's up for us to build the bridge. It ain't gonna work unless we start to build the bridge. And all our ideas can't be put on YouTube, can't be put on Facebook, can't be put on Instagram. That's why I propose right now, while it's cool, because I think by the summer things are going to start getting better with this COVID, that we need to start working on, do like black people do. We need to start right now trying to have plan a barbecue or a fish fry. And we don't even all have to be in the same city. Whatever city you're in the city, and we can just connect that way where we can start having our meetings in person, or we find a city that people want to go to. Atlanta, Philly, Chicago, New York, LA, whatever. And we need to start planning now because everything can't be put on YouTube because we don't want everybody to know what we're doing. Not supporting these Arabs, these Indians, these Asians in our community. That can be put on YouTube. But some of the things that we have to do, some of the things that we need to do, need to be only discussed amongst us, and then we do it. They don't even know what we're thinking until they see it. Like, damn, they bought those 3 shells on those 3 blocks. They have come together and and they just bought that small fourplex right there and rented it out to their own people, and they taking care of it. They have this trash business running. They are doing this. They don't need to know everything. Some of the things we need to have and I'm being honest, we're gonna have to figure out a way to start meeting because we can't put everything on YouTube because then they will start to block us and they will figure out a way. And we fall for their tricks. It don't make a difference how many times they do the same trick. We still fall for it, and they will figure out a way to make us begin to fight with one another. I'm not saying us on the panel and us in the chat. I'm talking about us as a people, as black people in this country. That's what I'm talking about. But we do have to come together and we have to do something, and we have to do it now. We can't say, oh, we got another 2 years, we got another 5 years. No, the time is now, is to start doing everything that we need to do. I saw somebody put in the chat about teaching kids social skills and trades. I can't remember who that was. I talk about that now. I was a mentor. I mentor kids. and I steered some too, trades. But those are the things now. We have to start doing it now. We have to become more tech savvy. We had the first black owned 25 million big tech school right there in Jackson, Mississippi being built. Our kid, we need this because she says she want to see more black youth coming up to be techies, tech nerds. So we have to start looking into that and start gearing our kids, our children toward certain things. We don't have forever. It's been 500 years over here, and ain't nothing changed. The time is now. It's either now or never. Now you're the mic.
All right. Is that my turn to go, or should I wait? Anybody? Okay. Again, we're going to jump right into it. In my opinion, the time, and let's start just off that. The time is already, it, 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 it's past tense. This should have been done like 25 years ago. So it's definitely time now. But again, step back and look at this picture, this bridge, this for coming together is already here. It's here. We just don't really agree with the people who are actually helping to build the bridge. I've been on a couple of different panels, and from what I can see, a lot of people don't like some of these big faces that are out here showing us how it can be accomplished. I've seen several people take the archetype that Brother Umar Johnson has provided with building this school, but so many people don't like his rhetoric. So many people don't like his actions that they throw out his whole agenda of building a black school for boys right out the window because they don't like him. Then we got Tariq Nasheed, again, somebody who basically snubbed his finger at Hollywood and decided to build his own documentary series, which outsold every documentary series that Nat Geo or National Geographic had ever produced, all through black dollars only. But people don't like Tariq Nasheed and some of his rhetoric. Okay, let's look at Dr. Boyce Watkins and the black TV series that he came up with. A lot of people don't agree with Dr. Boyce Watkins and how he speaks. I love the way he speaks personally, but a lot of people don't agree with how he delivers it. But he's got his own network out right now, which again is, I'm not saying that we all can't collectively do our own. There's several. What's the name of it? Quale TV is another Netflix-like program created by a black woman that is out on the internet right now, that I really don't see the numbers going towards her network, her program. Right? Dame Dash, I've said this before in other chats. Dame Dash has several different social media outlets, much like Twitter and Instagram, that he has. It's his personal intellectual property, and it's in use right now. It's there. The bridges are definitely there. Personal friend of mine has California Skate Line. We need an outlet to where we can go and meet up and have these meetings. Here's a forum that you could go into. It's not like forum like this is something that he created where no, you can't go to the skating rinks in all those different places. But these people have parking lots that they can actually use as a social gathering for skating. There's a place where you can have your meeting out of the watching eyes of the mainstream media. There's a solution. The solutions are everywhere right now. The bridge is built. It's a super highway, like right now. Problem is, nobody got the map to it. I don't think a lot of us have the map to where the hell this bridge is that will connect all of us, that it is connecting all of us. Mainly because we don't want to pick up the map from the person that we don't like. A lot of people don't like Soneto 102. I mean, I don't agree with everything that man says, but he has a platform that he opens up to anyone who wants to advertise their business as a black person to the black community. It's like free advertisement. Tariq Nasheed does the same thing where if you got your commercial together, he'll put it on his program. There's your advertisement right there. He does not charge you for that. No, you don't have to like everything that he says, but if you need some advertisement, you need some people to see your business, bam, there it is. But there are several different YouTube artists or content creators that are actually taking this archetype and doing the same thing where you can advertise your business in their platform so that you can get those that actually want to spend top quality, top dollar on your black product and not look for that handout or discount, that hood discount, the struggle discount, as I like to call it. Right? How do we change that mindset? How do we change that? Well, we put a lot of money into, well, we don't put a lot, but we see people that put money into the big mainstream products and name brands, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Coach, Prada. We see the people that are putting money into those companies, but down here at the ground level, our Gucci and Prada and all that stuff is other black artists and other black content creators, people who are making different things. You spend what, $200 on a Supreme shirt? Don't do that shit. Put that same money, excuse me, put that same $200 into somebody's black business that is making quality products. They're going the extra mile. We are going the extra mile to make quality products already because we love quality stuff. The fancier the better. The higher quality the better. But it's the best because we feel like ourselves we are the best. So we want the best stuff. So start putting the best amounts of dollars into the pockets of the people that you're buying these products from. It's weird to really think about how much we spend at Walmart to buy the simple things. So if you take that same amount of money and order it from these people that are like basically selling the same products that you're getting ready to go buy anyway, if you want to buy your soaps and whatnot, how many black-owned companies right now that are out there making that product? Spend those dollars over there. Here's another one. I just was listening to a gun owner today, a gun shop owner today, who has a best friend that is a trainer, a self-defense trainer, who makes products as well. So rather than wanting to get that discount, one person who makes products, who's a business owner, bought products from his friend that makes quality products. That same friend then went and bought the same amount of money worth of products from that person who bought the original product. There's the discount because technically neither one of these people spent any money. There's your discount. Two black-owned businesses that decided to buy each other's products. That's money that just bounced back and forth in the black community by technicality. That means that those dollars didn't leave outside of that area or between those two people. There's the community, the money that's in between black people. We buy each other's products. Our money don't leave. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays right where it needs to be, in our pockets. But we just trade it. We just trade it for what to fit our own need. This person needed those products. That person needed those products. They bought them, but there it is. And at the same time, there's the taxes right there too, because you still bought the products. It's still within the network, but those products did not exchange technically any actual dollars. There's your dollars bouncing back and forth. That's Dr. Claude Anderson teaching. He also is a professor and actually has a class, a course that he teaches. The Black Business School, ran by Dr. Bryce Watkins, another one. Going down my list again, Dr. Greg Carr. Dr. Greg Carr, you want a human library, you go and sit under the tutelage of this man, another person who is a teacher. Are you looking for a discount? He's not. But at the same time, there's where the mindset changes. There's where the shift is. There's the shift. Not Gucci. Black owned. I yield the mic. Is that a question for me or anything? Or because I can't really read, I really need to keep my eyes on the road.
No, that was not a question. Me and Tanjin Zhao, I think I said his name right. We were holding a conversation in the chat, and you talking about what's on the screen. Now that was we were holding a conversation. Now we were holding a conversation in the chat when you mentioned when you started mentioning certain people, and we started a conversation about Tariq Nasheed. And I ain't trying to be rude, but I don't support Tariq Nasheed at all. I've never bought a Hidden Colors. I won't buy Hidden Colors. Any man said on his chat and say, oh, if you want a good black woman, she need to have a white mother. That the only way a black woman can be good if she raised by a white mother. Can't support him. Then he say a single black mother. If black people in America get reparations, single black mothers don't deserve reparations. Me personally, I can't support him. I don't even listen to him. He's phony. He's caused confusion everywhere he goes. That's my personal opinion. I'm not telling nobody else don't listen to him. I'm just saying why I don't deal with it. Because I have a black mother and I have black daughters that have black mothers. So when you say they're raised by, the only way a black woman is going to be good is if they're raised by a white woman, you telling me my mother ain't worth a damn and my wife wasn't worth a damn and my sister and my grandmothers and my aunties. That's how I take that, because all of them is black. So that's why I couldn't deal with Tariq Nasheed at all, period.
I've never heard him say that. I mean,
well, but I'm telling you, I understand, but yeah, he said it though. That's the conversation me and Tanjin Zhao was having in the chat. That's why I don't deal with Tariq Nasheed. I don't have no problem with nobody else said. Just Tariq Nasheed.
Right. I really wish. I mean, if you don't like him, that's fine. But
it's not just not liking him. It's about
Well,
It's about
hold on.
I can't respect the man that do. I can't respect the black man that talk about black women like that. That's
Courtney, I
just
can't
me.
really, I
I'm
can't
I'm
really hear
just trying
you.
to make a really trying to make a point here because no, you don't have to agree with what he says. No, you can have the disagreement with what he says, and I'm not gonna say anything towards your opinion of him. However, what I'm going to bring up is the the people that you find giving their testimonials inside within those documentaries is where it's his opinion technically it doesn't really it doesn't matter what he thinks of black women. You can argue with him all day about it and I will support you on that because I think that's wrong. If he did say that, then yes, that's absolutely wrong. However, if you've missed out on watching the any one of the documentaries, then you've missed out on a great lesson that wasn't given by him. It was given by the people who he called on to be in it. Right? Missing out on a quality product is what I mean. I mean
No, I
because
understand what you said. Oh, I didn't say I didn't watch. I watched the first two. That was it. But I said I never paid for them. Is what I said. I said
none of
I
my
never paid
business.
for them. That's what I said. But
None of
no,
my
it just
business. I'm just
it,
saying, like,
for me, for me, in my stance, I'm gonna be. I'm pro Black Pan African. I believe in Pan Africanism, and I'm a student of Marcus Garvey and my father. I do believe in
but
Black people coming together, but it's hard for me to deal with people who create confusion and division amongst Black people. That's the only thing.
I'm curious, just out of curiosity, um, if you're for Marcus Garvey, right? And I'm definitely for Marcus Garvey. I believe that like what he was on to is something that needs to be repeated today. We really need that, like right now. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to invest in another business venture, and I want to try to see if I can go that direction and having that him as a theme for my business. But if you're in support of him, I'm wondering how much of the COINTELPRO do you are you aware of that was involved in thwarting his effort in growing his his army?
What do you mean? How many people that was agents that ended up being in the UNIA working next to him? Yeah, that were agents.
Yeah,
Yeah, that were
that part.
agents in the UNIA. The guy that sold him, the guy that helped him get the ships. He was an
Right.
agent. The guy, his name R. Moden. You know the guy that allowed the Tuskegee experiment. R. Moden. He was one of the people that turned on when Marcus Garvey in the UNIA invested in the rubber, and a lot of people don't know that they were the first people that we were the first people to see the vision of the car industry growing so big. Marcus Garvey was the first people to invest in rubber in Liberia, and R. Moden helped him do certain things. Then R. Moden went back to white people. Say, well, now they're broke. They did this. Go offer more money. That was the same guy who got $5 million to allow the Tuskegee experiment. R. Moden. So yes, I do know that there were a lot of people in that, and I didn't want to say that, but I really think that's what Tariq Nasheed is because he caused confusion everywhere he go. He caused all the confusion with Dr. Umar Johnson. He caused all the confusion with Irritated Genie, and I'm not even ADOS, and he caused confusion amongst them everywhere that he went. That's what he do everywhere he go. He creates confusion, and after the second Hidden Colors, he fired his black cameramen and all that, and everybody he had after that was all white. I'm just was just talking about Tariq Nasheed. Do I know that there were agents in the UNIA? Yes, I know there were agents in the UNIA. We always have agents. We have to vet our people more. We have to do a better job of vetting once we create our organizations. We have to do a better job of vetting. We have to do better background. We have to do all that. And in today's age and time, we can do better job of vetting than they could because of all the access that we have today, access to the internet, access to everything. So we can do a better job of vetting because if we're going to truly build the things that we are trying to build, trust me, they are going to come our way as well. And we have to
Right.
be we have to be prepared for that in every way. We have to. Snuggle 668 say, what type of people do you all patronize? Where are they from? And what are their backgrounds? Well, actually, for me, I patronize a black business. If a black person has something to offer, I'm gonna patronize it. And I really don't care if they're from the United States or if they're from Africa or if they're Jamaica. I patronize black people from the States. I patronize black Africans or Jamaicans and the services that they're offered, Cameroonian, you say their backgrounds. My African buddies, mainly Cameroonian, Ghanaian. I have a couple of Nigerians. I have some Ethiopians. I patronize African Americans. I go to my urban vitamin store. My channel is Brother Bakari. If you were to see my channel, you would see the people that I do patronize. I always promote black businesses all the time on my channel. And I don't just promote the black businesses. When I'm there and I'm dealing with them, you actually see me shopping with them. My computers that I buy, I bought from a black owned. The computers that me and my kids have, I bought from a black owned electronics store. I just had to get a windshield put in my truck yesterday. Signature Glass LLC is a black owned glass company that came out and did my windshield. Do I ever support people that's not black? Yes, I have some. I own the corner store. If I have to go get gas, we don't own many gas stations here. Sometime when I have, if I don't let my gas get too low, I will ride out to the black gas station that Ethiopians own about 15 miles from me and go to their gas stations. I used to drive about 40 miles to fill up my gas at a black owned gas station. I used to go there like once a week. But there's an Indian and I support them. And the reason I support them because I noticed they hire black businesses and they have hired my business. And I see they hire black subcontractors to do certain things. There's an agent that I will support because I noticed they hire a lot of black subcontractors to do certain things inside of their restaurant. But my main focus, if black people have it, I'm going to support black people first. I'm going to always, whenever I'm looking for something, I go through
Thank you so much for that sentiment. I do want to give a couple of other people opportunity to speak. Um, Sorry about that. Excuse me. Because I did understand, even though I was in the chat, I kind of recognized that the conversation and the topic at hand is getting a little away. And I also did want to recognize Tanjan Zoe is a female. She's a sister. She's our newest addition to the MX Media Group. She actually hosted a show the other night, Brother Bakari. So you referred to Tanjan as a he a couple of times. I know it was no disrespect, but she is actually a sister, a beautiful sister, a mother. So we want to welcome her to the panel. Tanjan, that link was sent to you a couple of times. Because of the email situation, I don't know how to get it to you any other way. I would suggest you set up a Gmail so that way we may be able to communicate a little better. But I did send it to you a couple of times. Welcome also to the room, Koja Malik. If you would like to join the panel, please send me an email. Let me know. I do want to rein a couple of things back in, but I do want to address a couple of things that were spoken about when I was, trying to remove firewalls and having to enlist my son's help and that sort of thing. When we're talking about, do Black people, do we as a culture, as a community, a diaspora, want to heal? Snuggles, I always appreciate you coming with very challenging questions. However, that this is not the topic for that. The white ice is colder is definitely something that we can address. Um, so excuse me. The white ice is colder is definitely a topic that we can address, because I think that that might tie in somewhat, so some type of way. But what I have really seen the conversation, what I've really seen the more stickling points on the conversation at hand are regarding, do we really want solutions? Do we really want solutions? How can the ones that, because I'm quick to say, y'all know me, I'm quick to say, hey, you can create a business. I saw Brother Neo gave some suggestions in regards to that. So in regards to creating solutions and really having them be tangible, having them be realistic, it has to be for the majority. And at this point in time, I don't know if the majority of, actually, I can't even say I don't know. I know that from the community that I came from, maybe not here in Atlanta, Georgia, but the community that I came from in Miami, a lot of people my age and maybe a little older, they weren't as interested in starting businesses. They were trying to do their time at their 9 to 5. So is that still kind of a solution that we would say? Because what's the checkpoint, right? I want to start, Brother William. I want to start with you. What's the checkpoint? How do we know if someone is seriously ready to heal? If they are seriously ready to receive and execute solutions? How do you know? How do you know? So I'm going to go on mute, and I would love for everyone to weigh in on this. How do you know if the network you're working with, if the family members you're talking to, if your spouse, if your children, how do you know if they're ready to actually execute solutions? So with that being said, I yield the mic, Brother William, please, it's on you.
Okay. I think you will know definitely by getting closer. Getting closer is not just a physical getting closer, but more like doing things together. One thing I love about the panel is that it's a beginning, but it's only a beginning. It's not an end, because at some point we have to go into some action. So solutions are physical. So if we go into some action, what action is that going to be? So that's the kind of penalizing, that's the kind of conversation we should have. What kind of act should we do to help heal ourselves? So, and I use the Penny Club as an example, but we don't have to be Penny Club. We don't have to go into the Penny Club, because that's one of the examples I'm using my program. If we start an investment Penny Club, why a penny? Everybody on the panel got a penny. If you don't got one, then I got one for you. So that goes from start right there. But then also Brother Bakari said a barbecue. That's physical, getting closer. The only way we're going to start healing is by getting closer. So we got to do things. We got to interact, enjoy ourselves, and also be mature enough to know that in the end, at the end of the day, we need business. So not when I say we need business, I don't mean strictly business, because it's beyond just business we need. If we take that attitude strictly business, I don't think we'll probably go up a little bit and go back again. We need to build culture, build relationship, build trust, build business. It got to be a whole 9-yard thing. And it can be small. We don't have to start big. We don't have to think about so many people. Remember, I always say this, we're blinded by numbers. We think it got to be 20 people. No, the panel is where it starts. The idea of this, see if you can find 10 good men. Now, the in the scriptures, the community was devastated, right? Devastated, so much so that God said, well, there's no good people out here. So the prophet said, let me see if I can find 10 good. So as he looked, not really trying to promote the scriptures. I love the scriptures, but as he looked to find them, he couldn't find them. So in spite of the scriptures, what happened If you find 10 good, what would have happened then? He would have saved the city. So how the 10 good men gonna save the city? So in common sense, they're gonna get together. They're gonna start off like we started, penalizing, and then they're gonna start building. Building is physical. It's not all talk. Talk is good. Don't get me wrong. Talk is not cheap. Talk, especially when it's talking about doing something, it has worth to it. So I think that we need to go into some action. We need to talk about what action we should go into. I have a few proposals already. The Penny Club is one of the proposals. This panel right here, starting off with Atlanta though, because I think it should be on a city by city basis. It don't make sense to me to start a Penny Club and you're in California and we're in Texas. You can start your own branch there, and we'll start ours here in Atlanta. I think it should start off in a realistic sense. So that's one proposal. A barbecue, getting together, having the barbecue is a symbol of any other type of activity. We meeting, we supporting a restaurant, a black restaurant. We're saying that we target a black restaurant somewhere on John Street, right? And then we all live somewhere near it, and we say we all gonna go there that Sunday, and we're gonna spend at that restaurant, and it's gonna be a good thing for that restaurant. So I'm saying solutions are physical. So the panel is the purpose of the panel. Matter of fact, is to start talking about what act we're gonna take. So to go into some action, we got to talk about what act. We can't just say, well, this is a good one, that's a good one, that's a good one. No, we got to vote which one. Okay, so that's a good one. You said another good one. I said another good one. I said a different one. You said a different one. Which one we should take? Let's have a barbecue first. Let's start doing a once a month or twice a month barbecue. Then we can go into some penny. I believe in putting money together and then building relationship while we do that. That's getting closer too. Because as long as we're sharing something, oh man, I'll know you quicker than I would not sharing. So we can try to get to know somebody. If we don't share nothing with them, we really don't know them until we start sharing something physical. So I want to stay on point with the topic of what's the solution. The solution I will conclude is physical, and that solution is the panel is the beginning of it. The conversations we have, the wisdom we're getting from every person on the panel. But then when and where and how do we take the first step? What's the act that's going to actually allow us to start building our community? Don't think big on community. Just think me, you, and everybody on this panel. We're the community. We're the start. And last but not least, everybody on this panel is concerned about its race. Anytime you concerned about your race, you are a leader. Ain't no disputes. You are a leader. So whether you're a weak leader or a inexperienced leader or whatever level, you're a leader for sure. Because non-leaders will say, "Well, I'm for myself. I'm just me and my kids." You ain't concerned about that young kid, black kid who got kicked out or on the streets or having problems and needs some counsel. You don't care about them. So you're not a leader. And that's kind of like my yardstick of what a leader is, a black leader is. Anyway, I guess I rest my mic, and I hope I answered your question. If I didn't, ask me again, and I will answer specifically. I rest my mic.
Oh, it's on me. So to know if somebody want to be healed or want to do something for me, I'm gonna be honest. After about 3 conversations, you can know where a person's mind is. You can know where a person's mind is, and you can also know if you're wasting your time trying to heal people. But I thought us talking about business we were speaking of. I thought that was along the same line of healing, but so we'll have to know what type of healing we'll be talking about, because we need mental healing, emotional healing, and I I don't know, healing for us to come together. I don't know what, like for me, like I say, 3 conversations for me, I've gotten to the point where I'm a little short. So after about 3 conversations, you know what a person mind is, and you would know if that person want to be healed, if that person want to walk with you, or if that person is still trying to depend on this system, this country, and everything that they have designed to heal us. And a lots of time, that's what we're going to run into. We're going to run into us wanting to be healed or fixed by somebody else. And can't nobody heal us but us. Can't nobody fix us but us. And we have to stop worrying about the ones that don't want to be healed, that's stuck there, that's dancing in the streets for Joe Biden, like Jesus has come. We can't worry about those people. Because those people that dancing in the street with Joe Biden, they probably ain't gonna want to be around me at all. And it's not because I hate somebody. It's not have nothing to do with my political alliances, because I don't have one. My only alliance I have is black people. But they don't. That's the healing that they want. So for me,
But I
how would
think
I?
we have,
Excuse me.
y'all can hear me. I
Yeah.
think we
Yes.
have too much in saying what we can't work with. Now, number one,
Let me let me
I
let me
go to
let,
what
let,
you.
let me finish my statement. I was almost done. I was just gonna repeat myself and say, for me, after like 3 conversations, you can tell what people is, and that's just about it for me. I yield the mic.
Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
it's on you now. It's on you
Okay.
now.
I think we have too much division in our language. Some stuff just don't need to be said. Certain things we say, we alienate people, and we have a lot of divisions. I've heard people have division of elitism, classism, texturism, color, all kinds of divisions we have. And when we say certain things, we automatically put people that I may not agree with certain things politically, but that don't mean we can't come together and work on some other stuff. So I'm not going to say I can't work with anybody because you eliminate a big segment of the population. It's a big segment of the black population that voted for Joe Biden. When we're working and sitting down and hashing out problems, we may have certain areas that we can work on, maybe not 10 points, but we may have 2 areas. And we have multifaceted problems, a lot of problems. Number one, we don't even know how to talk to each other. We have lost the art of just common decency. It's something that's lost in America, and it's something that's lost within black people. We love to be shady or get slick. We can't even talk to one another. So we can never move forward with being productive if we can't talk to each other. Basic things that we teach our kids. Thank you. Hello. We don't exercise as adults. Hey, stand in line, wait your turn. We're hypocrites. We don't exercise these things. And those simple things prevent us from moving forward. For example, um, I was listening to one man. He's like, "Oh, we don't need a man in a shiny suit." Excuse me, we really do need a man in a shiny suit. We need people on all sides and all arenas. We need people on Democrat, progressive, and Republican side. We need people in church, on the street. And if we begin to talk negatively, then we diminish a group that we can help and we need to access. Because most people, we kind of live in a box. So if I'm only, and I always said to church people, I grew up, we used to have the Mormons come to our town. The Mormons was the only people that actually got out and played kickball with the black people. I live by a black church. And I'm saying if you only talk to the people who in the church and you only talk to their kids, how do you get those other kids whose parents don't send them? And we create classes of people. Oh, I'm not ghetto, or she bougie, or that's the single mother, she a baby mama, or he a deadbeat. We put all these labels on people instead of just talking to people. And we may not agree on 100% of things, but we should be able to find some common grounds on something because I'm sure I could find something in common with every black person in this country. We may not have 10 things in common, but we may at least have one, and that's the one thing we can work on. But if we go and say, I don't need no shiny suit person, oh, they got book sense, they ain't got no common sense. And all that type of language that we use, even if we say it in a nice voice, we put others off. And it's really going to be no coming back to that. So we got to kind of learn how to talk to each other, and how to not alienate people when they're talking to each other. I don't have to talk about what I don't want to work with to talk about what I want to work with. I don't have to put this group of people down to talk about a subject. And we need to learn the art of conversation and the art of not alienating people. And my battery about to go dead, and I'm at working here in the bathroom, so I'm gonna have to just listen to y'all from the sidelines.
I think these are some excellent points that we're making here. Guy just said something that really resonated, which is some of us honestly don't want to be healed. Some of us honestly don't want to. There is more to be gained by causing attention. There's more to be gained, especially with certain policies and programs, by playing victim. And it's hard to get out of that conditioned mind state. So, my question here is that how do you know if someone is really trying to be healed as opposed to really needing help? Okay, so I'm presenting that question to the panel. How do you know if someone is really desiring to be healed or really needing help? Okay,
Can I respond to that? Can I respond? Who turn is it?
please.
Okay. If
Please.
you compare,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. If you compare that, like, like not compare, but if you try to figure out the difference, is the way they talk. Okay, the way you'll hear it in their voice. So if I'm talking, functional or sensible, and then all of a sudden you talking out kind of off the wall. So you got to shift yourself, like, and become the psychologist and say, okay, I understand. Be still, calm, cool, and collective. But yet, that's how you identify in conversation someone needed healing or interested in being healed. You can tell in their language. So that's my take on that. So yeah, I want to stay with that answer. So I want to get another subject. I rest my mic.
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, please, peace and blessings, family. I'm glad to be on the show. Just want to say real quick before I answer that. The queen that left the panel named Cynthia, her voice sounds very familiar. I'm wondering if that's my auntie. And did she see my show the other night? She gives me a call. That's you, Auntie Cynthia. That sounds like it's my auntie. But I do want to say we can't try to grab. I think our problem is we got an idea and we know what we want to do together. And sometimes the ones that's closest to us that will help us all make it the way we want to make it, or reach our goal as far as building tangibles, as far as building our own political whatever, to the things that we need to survive and cut ourselves away from this cancerous society, right? You got to realize a lot of people are not ready to leave that because a few things. It's several reasons, and we can't take everybody. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I know God is gonna put who needs to be together. That's why we on this panel right now speaking. I just think it's so beautiful for all of us to get together because now you see that there's some serious people on here that want to do work, that's tired of the same old, that needs to get everything together. And we got to work, and we just got to know where to start. Some of us are lost and don't know where to start. We're ready to do this, but where to start? And you can't do that with everybody because some people are, as I mentioned in an earlier chat, I had a couple of people I spoke to, and we were talking all this, let's get our stuff together. Yeah, I want to start a black-owned business. I want to start a business. As soon as I started saying that, we about the school and teaching our babies and keeping them away from other kids that is not them, now all of a sudden it's, oh, no, I can't do nothing like that because my auntie daughter is half white. My grandfather is half white. So it's like, okay, so what does that got to do with protecting our black babies, our black children? We got so many things happening. And, I'm a mom. So I really, really go hard for my kids, for my babies. I don't care where they at. I may not give birth to some of the babies, but I feel for a lot of them alive and no longer alive, because it was too much negligence on our babies. And as I said it before, not enough of the community was stepping in and protecting our babies. Not enough. Everybody want to be in the gossip mode. Everybody want to see what's going on in your home, but don't want to protect the babies out of that home. So it's a more bigger issue to be focused on. It's our babies. What we gonna do with our babies? So to piggyback on what you guys are saying, a lot of folks not only not want to join with other Black folks about that because it makes them feel uncomfortable. They've been whitewashed. It's too comfortable. My mother's one of them. It's just it's too uncomfortable for them. You gotta have I can't because I love watching Leave It to Beaver. Please, I'm not gonna stop. I'll give you one prime example. I had a family member right now. There's some Russians that stay upstairs from her. She called them mama and daddy. And I'm telling you, she cooks food for them and bring it upstairs to them and everything. And the times that I would come and visit over there in the Bay Area, I never see them come downstairs and do nothing for her. So I'm just saying, we gotta stop focusing on who feelings we gonna hurt. That's on the outside. Because right now they don't care nothing about us. And then the ones who want to care about them, let them. This is what I'm talking about. I personally don't. I'm not gonna deal with people that's gonna stop my progress. I know what I need to do. The society is cancerous, and I think we all should get dual citizenship. I think we should do that. I think we should start getting on our passports. I think we should get a passport to go to Jamaica, Africa, Cuba, and the Black Caribbean. And I think we need to start communicating with them. Want to start a business and get it going, start building a home. You're going to build where you're comfortable at. You're going to build where you're not being targeted by white supremacists. Because what happens all the time? What be happening all the time? A whole bunch of us build a little city. We got a little land. We starting to own this. We got our own rules, our own laws, our own protection agency, our own everything. And you got a couple of white folks driving by, and they see the city look nice, the homes look nice, Black people smiling, little children playing. They see little Black kids walking down the stairs from their Black-owned schools. And guess what you got? You got politics getting involved now. You got LGBT alphabet people getting involved, and they want to be a part of it or they want to destroy it. And see, you're not going to get all that in other countries. Okay? You're not going to get all of that in other countries. So I always want to go and tell people, not tell them, but encourage. Keep your options open of where you want to start. And I'm open. I'm open for anything and everything. I have a son's clothing line that's not out yet because I have no way or no one to help show or promote me of doing that. See, I'm the one that has no way to go on how to go about it and how to do it and how to keep it strong. So my son can have clothes that's representing young male children, handsome young boys, and not just for him. I want to reach my young Black male children. I want to represent them because they're not being represented at all. And it's sad because we're not thinking about these kids. Once again, we're talking about grown folks' issues about what they don't want to do. Let them grown folks fall into the ditch of the fire, into the pit of hell, because that's all they want to do. As long as they got that interracial sexual access and stuff, they don't want to support you because they too busy comfortable with who they with that don't care about Black folks. They don't care about Blacks. They don't care about their own either because they so in love with somebody on the outside. They can't help you build because they too busy trying to please the other person. Or if my other half can't come in the picture, if my white boyfriend can't come in the picture, then please, she'll find all kind of ways to get your business or get what you got progress shut down because her feelings is hurt that we're saying Black only. Now, I went to City College of San Francisco. They had all these clubs, and I'm gonna tell you how sickening these clubs were. You had your Asian and Pacific Island Club. That means they were helping people, grants and all the stuff for Asian and Pacific Islanders. You got your Jewish club. You gotta be Jewish, and you gotta be Jewish. Then you got the Italian club. Then you got and then when it came to the what they call it, the Umoja Club, the African Studies. Who's running it? The Chinese. So what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Like we can't get nothing together. What is the problem? Why are they afraid for us? Or why are we afraid for us to become something great again? And this time better, because they've done so much wrong to us that if we do come back together, we come strong. And this time it's hard to break us down that we gonna take over like we supposed to. Fear the Black planet. You know what I'm saying? And you got a lot of Black folks that just was refused to. Well, we let everybody in. I hear it all the time. We don't exclude a lot of people. We can't exclude folks, or we can't because the slave master told you not to. So who runs this program? Your white daddy do? PCs? They run this. That's why they gave you a little platform, but you only have a small little window to do what you want to do as melanated Black people, the diaspora. So that's what bothers me the most. And I'm the type that I don't give a hell who you are. I'll cut the police out in a minute. I've done it twice. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I've seen shit happen. I've seen where a Latina lady backed into my car, and then she said that I didn't park correctly. So they called the police. When the police came in East Palo Alto, California, I stayed there. The first thing the officer's gonna tell me is this is a private property. I said, well, officer, you're a goddamn lie. I live here. Oh, you do? Yeah, I do. She don't. Tell her that. He couldn't tell that Mexican woman that. But he want to tell me immediately, this is private property. He couldn't even look at me in my face. He's taking his shoes and kicking the floor because he know he about to do something racist. And I had to catch him. Motherfucker, I live here. Excuse my French. I live here. So just come up with something different. You gonna tell her? Because she don't live here. Well, you guys talk this out and see if you can get insurance involved. You know, I did it. I thought maybe if you park here, you're parking in the wrong area. No, I live here. Once again, they don't live here. So tell her to park her car somewhere else. And yes, we will exchange insurance. So I've been tripping off the fact that we sit here and they think that everybody's got to bow down because they say so. We just don't want to mess up our paychecks. We don't want to mess up people liking us. Well, they don't really like you. But you can keep on doing what you want to do. Me personally, I'm going to go be with some real Black folks. The ones that's out of the bull crap. Me personally. And I think we got a lot of work to do. Cha-cha. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe in. If someone get in contact with me about my son's clothing line, help me just to get it started. Because I got all kinds of designs the way coats supposed to make, pajamas, suits, shoes. I need that plug and that hookup. And I guarantee you, those who get with me, you're gonna be rewarded. Because I don't believe in turning stones without. I don't believe in doing that. I don't believe in turning my back on those who came through for me. I've always been an honest person. You know, and last but not least, this is what I want to say real quick. I ain't trying to bring no issues regarding Tariq Nasheed, but everything that brother said is correct. I don't know who wasn't listening. Tariq Nasheed is bold about what he says on his agenda. Okay, and yeah, I like Hidden Colors 1 and 2, but it's a lot of talking. There's a lot of people telling the story about certain things. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But all this about single mother shouldn't get reparations. The only way if you want the best woman in your life, make sure the mama's white. That's the truth. He made it. It's true and it's clear. He got his mother-in-law living with him. She's white. So, you know what I'm saying? He talked bad about the Boogaloo Bowl. No, he didn't. He didn't talk bad about it. He upgraded them. And he was talking about certain militias. And he started saying, well, they shouldn't be messing with the Boogaloo Boys. Ooh, the Boogaloo Boys. That's how, aren't you related to the Boogaloo Boys? See, I question that. Because if you're not B1, if you're not Black first, then I don't want to talk with you. You don't reach me. I need my people to be about us. I'm not gonna sit there and upgrade the Boogaloo Boys. I'm gonna tell them one day they're gonna be J Max. Simple as that. Right now, we just coming up. We just coming up, and I don't support people who don't support Black women. I don't support people who don't support what we're trying to do. A lot of us are not trying to be independent, don't need a man. So I hate when people do that. I just don't believe a man should come inside of a well already self-made woman's house and tell her what to do and take away what she was starting off. You got with her because she was already clean and got herself together. Don't come in her house trying to run her and trying to tell her mentally what she can and cannot do because that's not what you want to see. So then she's not for you. Go somewhere where there's a female whose mindset is so low that she needs a pick me up. She ain't got it together. She's not a dime piece. She ain't got it together all the way. Therefore, get you a spot. Don't live at the lady spot who got her stuff going on, and go and get that one that you can kind of control and program and reprogram. Okay, because I'm guaranteed it may work out because she didn't have anything. She was lost without anyone until you came in her life. So if you do that, maybe that will work out. But you can't come in here and try to get and run over us, and we're trying to love you, and we run over us, and then next thing you know, we have nothing. So that's all I'm saying. So I'm done with that conversation. But I know y'all getting in on it. I just want to say this before I get off. We're going to get off the pen in a minute. Please, let's focus on all the ones who's really serious about coming together. I'm ready to do this work. I'm about my business, but I'm also about helping my people. I'm about coming through for my folks. I'm not bringing no other people in that ain't got no business being up in here because they're going to sabotage everything, like that lady did Martin Luther King. I forgot her name, but she was the main one, sabotaged Martin Luther King's movement. And no, he did not vote the last term before he died because he said they was marching down to Washington, D.C. to the White House to go grab a check. He said we wasn't going there to vote, we were going to pick up a check because he said reparations was owed to his people at the time. And that check wasn't good at bounce. So I want people to start talking bad about Martin Luther King and, you know what I'm saying, and saying that he was a sellout because he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So I love y'all. I'm glad. I know I'm getting babbly, and I don't want to do that, but I'm going to leave this panel right now, and I love you guys. Be one.
All right. Well said. Well said. I just got word that we rounding up the time now. It's we're gonna ask everybody to do a final comment, final statement based on regarding our community looking forward for solutions. Just a final comment. You can actually do whatever you want to say, whatever you want to say, but based on our community looking towards a solution. And you can give your information about who you are, how to contact you, and so on and so forth. But I got word that we should do a final comment from everybody, go in a circle, and we can start with anybody, doesn't matter, and then we'll start going around left or right.
Brother Guy, you hadn't spoke yet. You want to go ahead, and you want me to go first, then you go.
No, I'll go because I'm done and I'll leave the panel. Well, just want to say thank you to Sister Courtney for having me on the show. Peace to Brother Duke, Brother Bakari. It's good to vibe with y'all brothers and stuff, But I just want to say this. I ride with the sister who just spoke, Tanjon. I ride with her. Everything she said, it was on point. And like I said, a lot of our people don't want to be healed because when it comes down to having once you become conscious and you know what's going on, some of our people don't like responsibility because consciousness comes with responsibility and accountability. So they run from it. And then when you turn around and say, okay, let's do for self, just like the sister said, they'll come off and be like, oh, well, that's racism. And they start sounding like they're oppressor. And we trying to get away from those type of people. And just because, like I said before, every brother ain't a brother. Every sister ain't a sister. You know, so we gotta keep that in mind. You do got some enemies in our race, so let's not pretend that we don't. um, when you look at all the our greatest heroes, our greatest leaders, they got killed because of what? They got killed because of black people, not white folks. It was black people that either set them up or fired the first shot. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it 100. So you look at Nipsey Hussle, who had his own business. He got killed by Eric Holder in broad daylight. Wasn't white folks did it. Now white people probably paid him to do it, but it was a black man that pulled the trigger. So we got to understand we do got enemies even within our own race that want to keep the white agenda alive. Um, everybody's out there. When I did the video about the symbolism of the United States flag, it represent white power. You know what I'm saying? It represent white purity. And like I said, when you look at all the leaders between Reagan and Biden's family and Trump's family and all these, they're all white. There's no interracial relationships. There's no LGBT in their family. But to break us, they'll tell you to accept these things to break your power structure. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep our race pure. We have to keep our just try to generate I would call it African wealth and create our own politics. We just gotta be a selfish race. I've been saying it for a long time. We the only race that wants to help everybody, but nobody don't want to help us. So we gotta be blunt. We gotta be a blunt race. And we can't worry about a job. We can't worry about trying to keep white friends. We can't be on this let's all get along. You know what I'm saying? So this is another one of those Jedi mind tricks that they play on us, and we got to be serious about it. So yes, a lot of our people don't want to be healed. I would say some of our people don't want to be healed, because when you want to heal, you want to help. You want to have a responsibility to do for self. So and it's not, and like I said, when I deal with Pan-Africanism, I represent the black man, black woman, and child. That's always been the African Trinity, and so we gotta look at this as warfare. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that play chess, I would say study playing chess, because that's a good way. That's a good strategy game. We got to learn strategy to win. This is not just physical. This is more psychological now. This is psychological warfare, and it's more than physical. So I don't want to ramble, but like I said, I want to just throw that in there. My name is Guy Nollywood Jr. Subscribe to me. I got a lot of premieres coming up. Supporting that guy's footwear. I'm affiliated with that shoe company, and it's not. They don't sell shoes. They show other stuff like T-shirts and pants and shorts and stuff like that. It's definitely black owned. So that's all I need to say. And thanks for having me once again, Courtney, and thanks to the panel.
Okay. All right. Who's next? Closing comments regarding do we want to be healed or do we not?
Thanks to people on the panel. Thanks, Sister Courtney, for allowing me to join. Peace to the chat. Thanks to chat for listening. They said, do black people want to be? Most of us, in my opinion, I will be honest with you, most of us don't. First of all, in order to be healed, in my opinion, you have to accept who you are. You have to accept who you are. And most black people don't want to accept the fact that they are African people. We want to be everything except who we are. That's the beginning process of being healed. Once you accept who you are, because we don't want to accept what has happened to us. What happened to us was extremely horrible. It was a horrible. But once you accept it and be honest about it, we can overcome it because we are still here. Because we are still here, that means we had an opportunity to do it right now. We have the abilities to do anything that anybody else has ever done. It's still here, but the time is now. And I know Neil said the time was 25 years ago. Yes, it was, but that's 25 years ago. So we got to look at right now. For me, I speak with a Pan African mindset. I know a lot of black people don't, but like I say, I'm pro Black Pan African. I'm a student of Garvey. And what did His Excellency the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey say when they asked, "Did you want to take everybody back to Africa with you?" The answer was emphatically no, because some of our people is no good here. They won't be no good there. Do that mean I don't love my people? No, but it's some of our people that we won't be able to work with. And once we accept that, we can't work with the people that's selling us out. I can't. It's impossible to work with someone that's constantly selling you out. But I try to work with my people because I love my people. I love black people, and I know black people can do better than what we are doing. I know there's one solution. I didn't vote in this presidential election, the last two, because I said there was no one representing black people. The only representation we have in the election was not on the ballot, and that is us. We are our only solution. I agree with Cynthia when she said we should try to work with our people. Just saying straight off the bat that you can't, okay, but you can try. But then once you realize you can't, okay. But that's my closing statement. And once again, I want to say thanks to panel. Thanks, Courtney, for allowing me on your panel. Thanks to panel for being here. Thanks to chat for listening. My channel is Brother Bakari. That's the name of my channel, Brother Bakari. If you go to my channel, check out the content, smash the subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and I'm quite sure you would enjoy the content. And like I said, go through some of my videos and you would see me constantly promoting black business. What I talk about on this mic on YouTube is how I actually live my life. I yield the mic.
Okay. All right. Well said. Is it my turn? Who turn is
Go
it?
ahead.
Wait, who
Whoever's
said
speaking, go
that?
ahead.
Okay. So I like to say, um, the question of do we want to be healed? Okay, let me answer that in two ways. Number one, let me speak for me. I want to be healed. I am willing to be healed. I'm willing to come together to be healed. All right, that's the first question. Okay, now I'm willing to unite or get together with those who want to be healed also. So I don't want to get together with those who don't want to be healed. Okay, so one thing I believe in spiritually, okay, is now I learned in church that God is an awesome God. So if you think about it, this is one of the thoughts of his awesomeness. When you get cut with a knife, not severely, but a cut. After a while, you stop the bleeding. You hold it down with a rag or something. Put some alcohol or whatever on it, and it heals itself. Right? It heals itself, your body. So that's awesome, right? I believe we have that same healing ability, spiritual. So that means that we can get together and heal ourselves. But the key is the unity and togetherness. I think we can heal just like the wound naturally in a spiritual way. I believe that. I really believe that. So spiritually, just like this panel is very, productive. It's very it's healthy. The panel is healthy because we headed towards trying to understand the problem. And then once we start going into some action, then it will be functioning in a solution. So I believe that's how we're going to, heal ourselves is continue panelizing like this, and then figure out what common act, one act at a time, we can go into that's going to help us develop or build, our community. Last but not least, um, I believe that we have more, we're great, we have more potential of coming together than we think. I think we underestimate this panel. We underestimate each other because it, I say it all the time, blinded by numbers. What do I mean by that? When I say blinded by numbers, that means that we don't look at each other and say, let us do it. And then forget about the rest of the world. Me, you, and everybody on this panel, let us start building. Where do we start? So when you turn it to yourself, that would be the beginning of a solution because we are the solution. So forget about the 10,000. Let's worry about the 10 right here. So you can contact me anytime on the email small case black unity at 07 blackunity07 at gmail.com. My youth program is very powerful, I think, at least I think. And if you want to inquire, contact me through that email or through my phone number if you wish. I have nothing to hide. It's 404-838-3877. I believe in building us. Thank you, Courtney, for inviting me. Please make this a habit because we will find a solution. And I rest my mic.
All right. If nobody minds, I'm gonna go ahead and say my piece and part ways with you guys. It's been a blessing to be here with you guys. Um, Not to contradict myself, being a Bokor and everything. Let me just say, let me go ahead and say this real quick. We've got a situation here where I believe there's a reflection that we're missing. A lot of people don't want to heal or don't realize that they even need healing in the first place. So, do we want a healing? Yes, of course. Nobody wants to be ill all the time. Nobody wants to be sick. Nobody wants to be hurt. Everybody wants to heal and progress. And they want to deal with the social destruction that we've suffered from. We all want it, but a lot of us don't even acknowledge the fact that we even need to be healed in the first place. We don't realize that we're hurt. We don't realize that why we're doing some of the things that we do. Why are some of these stereotypes so malleable to our characteristic and our culture? These stereotypes are not part of our culture, in my personal opinion. And there is a wave of people like just kind of moving on from that point, moving on to my next point, trying to keep it short and brief. I really try to break this down. You guys got to bear with me. But the healing process has already started. With this generation right now, from what I can see, is of what we have already started really actually making inroads in that healing process. That it's going, it's working, it's progressing. We're not taking no crap from nobody right now. We're standing up and being productive. We've got all kinds of men's circles talking about their angst and problems and things of that nature all over the place. On the other side, we've got plenty of women that are doing the same exact thing, and more of us are making more of these types of panels that we've grown so fond of. These are all just little archetypes of the type of structural healing that we need to do ourselves. Now, is our open enemy going to acknowledge the healing process that needs to take place? I won't count on it. I'm not even going to even acknowledge that because if it happens, it happens. But first and foremost, I have to heal myself. And then once I heal myself, then I can maybe show somebody else how I healed myself. If they're willing to acknowledge that, hey, maybe something's a little off here, but show it. Show somebody that you're hurt. Show somebody else. So show another black person like, hey, I was hurt right here, man. This hurt me. But this is how I got past it. This is how I grew from it. This is how I healed from it. And they can take it or they can, find their own way. But at least it's there. It's there for somebody to be like, oh, okay, let me think about that on my own time. Hey, maybe that brother was right. This does happen to me. Hey, how can I heal? Is the next thing. I mean, the curiosity that we all have is something that kind of stokes the fire of wanting to be healed. Do we want to be healed? Of course we do. Do we know that we need healing? Most of us do. Not all of us are going to acknowledge it. Not everybody's going to. Not everybody's going to swallow their pride and say, "Hey, I'm hurt. I need some healing." That's what you go to church for. But again, first and foremost, I personally think everybody collectively needs to ungreek that understanding of who we are to start the healing process. That's the pill I believe that we should be swallowing. That this red pill, blue pill argument about being woke and conscious and all that debate. The fact of the matter is, every way of being able to look at ourselves, including our Pan-Africanism, is coded in this Greek philosophy. I love being a Pan-African. I'm honored by it. I love and wear my red, black, and green proudly, especially in these southern states. It makes my wife a little uncomfortable sometimes. However, there's a Greek coding on top of everything that we do when we're acknowledging ourselves. We start there. Maybe we can start talking about this stuff. But again, that's my opinion. Chances are somebody's not going to like it. It is what it is. We can debate it later. In the meantime, I would suggest thinking about it and considering that maybe all of our ways of looking at ourselves, it might be the real problem that we can start with, a concrete problem that we can start with to really go into that healing process. And with that, I say Ashe, Asheo, blessings to everyone.
Hello. If everybody can hear me, I want to speak to some of the things one of the guys spoke to about the word. And words are very important, whether you go Christian or however you want to choose. I'm sure everybody heard about first it was God and it's the word, and he spoke things into existence. And I think our words are very powerful, and we can use them for good or evil. And we have to be careful in our words. I heard one person say, forget about a job. We have to be very detailed in our language, because we're going to meet people at all areas in life. Sometimes that job gives you the currency to expand your dreams if you don't have the financial resources and you don't come from generational wealth. So we have to be very detailed in our language, because we're going to meet people at different places in life, at different places in their journey of healing. And the one guy spoke about a cut healing itself. But let me tell you about a deep cut or a deep wound. And as Black people, we have deep wounds that we have allowed to heal over on the surface. It's a thing called tertiary healing. It's when you get a deep wound and you go in the hospital and they have to pack that wound. But sometimes the doctor don't give the order to pack that wound and it heals on the surface and inside it's all kinds of infection or just inflammation gets going. And we have to go into that depth and we have to address it and heal because we have the skin is healed over, but it's stuff on the inside that needs to be addressed. And in order to do that with people, the healing we need is not some physical. We ain't gonna talk about the diabetes and high blood pressure and all that, but the emotional healing, and that begins with our words and how we address each other and how we talk to each other. And we have to be very, like I say, specific when we're telling somebody, "Oh, forget that job." No, because guess what? If I come out of air condition repair school, and I'm not all for saying college is the way, you have to meet people at their skill level and what they're interested in. But if I come out of air condition repair school, I don't have experience. I need to be on, might need to be on somebody's job to get that experience to be able to go and open my own business. So when we're saying these things, and sometimes those people who are doing those 9 to 5 provide the structure that enables their kids or somebody else, if not themselves, to aspire to that level. A lot of the people who had the immigrant story, which Black people don't have the traditional immigrant story, they did those jobs and able to give their kids the education or the tools to go on to do other things. So being specific in our language, how we talk to each other. We have to be good within our language, how we communicate. And sometimes comparing and contrasting some things does more impact than just speaking things to somebody. So I may not be able to say, hey, you are this or you are that, but we can sit down and have lunch for. I may can't invite 1,000 people into my environment, but I can um, actually seek out somebody and spend time with that may be younger and unofficially mentor them. Don't say I'm mentoring them. Hey, I'm just spending time with you and you see what I'm doing and you may be that or one on one. We may talk to hey, come over here. This is how you get your credit going. You say you want your business, let me teach you how to do that. And it doesn't have to be a discussion about so many other things but being detailed and specific in our language, being kind, and learning to speak about the things we do agree on more so than things we don't agree on. I think it's part of the healing process. And sometimes people don't know they sick until they stand next to somebody that's healthy. And it don't have to be no words communicated. Sometimes just the visual of that. And so sometimes we have to do that more than the you're on this side, you're on that side. And that's what I had to say as far as healing ourselves emotionally and moving forward with business. Because if we can't talk, and I've seen people get derailed in conversations about crazy stuff that's small, but then it festers because you spoke negatively about something that that person may have been. I don't have to go and talk about welfare mothers to say I want to improve my people or I want my Black women to improve. I don't have to speak about that, and I don't have to speak negatively about it or speak in a condescending way that sometimes people do without even realizing they're doing it for me to mentor somebody, to help somebody, or to help heal somebody. So that's what I had to say about that. So Courtney, I'm gonna jump off so you can jump back on.
to thank everyone for coming through tonight. Absolutely. This is a much needed conversation in our community, in our networks, you all, because again, the solutions may not be found in your spouse. The solution, but as Brother William said so eloquently, the solutions are there. The solutions are here, and we are instrumenting that we are narrating those solutions to our unique and legendary story of legacy of revolution. Next week we will be discussing, and y'all, I'm going to be on time for that one. Next week we will be meeting at a different time because on Saturday, December 5th, I am going to be taking part in uh, an opportunity to promote Black businesses. I will not be able to have the State of the Melanated address at our usual time of 10 a.m. on the first Saturday in December, because again, the State of the Melanated address is the first Saturday of every month. So in lieu of that, next Saturday, the Saturday after the gathering holiday, upcoming this Thursday, we will have our 10 a.m. meeting then. Revolution through matrimony. So if you would like to be a part of this panel, if you yourself are married and would like to add to the benefits conversation regarding marriage, especially regarding the benefits of having a spouse for financial reasons, for support reasons, health wise. You all, we need to hear these conversations. We need to hear these testimonials. We need to hear what that support dialogue sounds like and what physically it looks like. So I thank Koja Malik for always bringing her expertise regarding her care work, because she is a nurse. We also have Sister Passionate Bliss, who was not on tonight, but also a nurse. But I imagine if she can, she will weigh in next week with that conversation, because this is something that I'm finding most concerning when I am out and about in these quote unquote YouTube streets, just really speaking as though each gender does not have specific, unique, and impactful, significant qualities in regards to continuing our legacy. It is incredible that we can still think as grown people that we don't need each other. We do. We do. So this will be the topic next week, revolution through matrimony. Thank you all for attending this topic, this panel discussion. Brother William, always a pleasure. Brother Bakari, I salute you. Brother Guy, thank you. We are 10 years plus in rocking. I think we've known each other longer than most marriages last. Kind of odd. Okay. Mine lasted 13 years, so we have a couple of years left to go with that one. Brother Jose, please do better. If you're going to be a part of this conversation, if you're going to be in here in the midst, if you do not have anything to offer as far as solutions, then please keep quiet. We want to thank you again, Tanjon, sis, for coming with the fire. We want to make sure that our fire and our passion is streamlined towards finding again solutions, as this is a solution oriented network as well as channel. Ruby, thank you for the topic. Absolutely, this came about after many hours of Ruby and I just talking and just meeting and greeting with one another. This came about. So thank you so much. And I forgot to mention that Ruby also is a member of the healthcare field. Thank you, Brother Neo. Welcome back, or welcome black, as I like to say. Also, we have a couple of people that did not make it onto the panel. I am really sorry with my Wi-Fi and the firewall and all of that good stuff. But Diamond Princess, I know I wanted to get your thoughts in regards to the panel. I'm sorry, in regards to the panel discussion. So sorry you weren't able to get in here. Brother Sir Senior, thank you for always playing the background, but definitely contributing where it's needed. Snuggles, the questions, the challenges, you are appreciated. Mom and daughter, thank you for stopping through. Board sessions, and Naima, I'm sorry I missed you. You were here earlier. I didn't see you throughout the chat, but thank you for coming in and being on time, because we know that, hey, on a Saturday night, there are many other things you could have been involved in, but instead you were here early. Don't know if you are still in the building or still in the room, but thank you so much. And anyone listening to this on the Play Black, please, please, please. Many of us have dropped our contact information. Many of us have shared ways to get in touch with us. As Brother William said from the Black Youth Congress, this revolution cannot be done with just speaking. Words are powerful, as Sister Cole Jamalik said, but at the end of the day, it must be a physical commitment. And to me, to answer the question, that's how I know if someone is really serious about being healed, is if they do something about it. Period. Either excuses or results. You can't get both. And with those words from my former personal trainer, I want to thank you, Derek. And he is right. If I'm going to push to get these last 9 pounds off, it was 7, y'all. It's 9 now. I got to cut out cheese to get back into my size 4s. I absolutely have got to just get results. I'm done with the excuses. I love my cheese, but I got to let it go. Okay. We got to be committed to getting the excuses by any means necessary. And until next time, y'all know what to do. Glow up.